Guys, speaking of back in action, not just a comedy show, the Cavs, after a long layoff for the All-Star break, are back in action tonight against the Brooklyn Nets. They've already beaten the Nets twice this season. The Nets, however, have won 6 of their last 7 games prior to the break. They held all of their opponents in those 6 wins to under 100 points, so they are playing better of late. But instead of focusing on just the Brooklyn game, I want to make this a big picture thing. And Tyvis, we can start with you and go around the horn. Over the final 28 games of the season for Cleveland, what's the number one thing that you're looking for this team to kind of solidify, put in stone before the playoff push?
Toughness. Toughness, and toughness. I think that's the only thing that's missing from this team. We talked about it on Tuesday, or was that yesterday? That might be yesterday. Well,
Yesterday.
We was talking about how all of the Tristan Thompson and the Jared Allen screens and all those things. At the end of the day, I still want to see these guys fight back. I don't want to see these guys get pushed around. Also, I want to see these guys continue to dominate the paint. I think they've really answered the bell on any other questions that we had. They're doing a great job of sharing the ball. Their DG has come back with vengeance this season and become one of the clutchest players in the closing minutes of a game. Donovan, maybe he's not the same Donovan, but he has to be. I mean, it's still there. Trust me. If it get like that, we know that Donovan can take off. But right now, he's doing a really good job of letting everybody carve their roles out. And then you see Evan. Evan was the big key that everybody talked about. Evan has been comfortable taking the ball coast to coast. He's gotten the ball. He's dunked on people. He's shooting a 3 with conviction now. It ain't even no thought. He's just pulling the thing. He's not afraid to put the ball on the ground and take people to the cup. Everybody, all the things that we worried about, they went out and they acquired a bigger guard or a bigger wing that can defend. So when you go up against the Jason Tatums and the Jaylen Browns, you got somebody that can at least cover them. You've beaten OKC. You've beaten the Celtics. The only thing that y'all struggled with was the toughness. And when you went up against the Rockets, obviously the Hawks game was what it was. I think you go up against Memphis soon, so that'll be a toughness test for you guys. I just want to see you guys continue to finish. Can you guys continue to battle and continue to bang with people and not back down to anybody? If you can answer that question in these last 28 games, because there's some games in there that you'll go up against some scrappy teams, you continue to answer that bell, then I think going into the playoffs, everybody's very confident in everything that you can do.
I would say I want to see them find out who the starting lineup's going to be with Hunter and Strus, and so that's going to be kind of interesting to watch the final. What is it? How many games are left?
28.
Mikey, 28. So the final 28 games. Let's figure out what the best rotation is going to be. Maybe it's for certain matchups. Maybe it's for the long haul into the postseason. But I think Hunter's got to continue to get comfortable with this rotation.
I think I agree with both of your arguments there. Yes, the Cavs need to get tougher. That's the biggest question mark with the Cavs. It was a problem in the playoffs against the Knicks 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. We talked about it even in a series they won against Orlando last year. When they've played a couple of the good teams, there's been some question marks about how tough they are in these physical matchups. But also with Hunter. I mean, Hunter is the biggest in-season acquisition they've made since the LeBron years. And he is the one guy they've added to this roster this year that could end up being the difference in them winning or not winning a series. Mm-hmm. He could be, he's not a superstar, but he's a good enough player that he could end up being a difference. And so him getting fully integrated with this team and his teammates in these 25 games is huge. Mm-hmm. So if both of these things happen, the Cavs prove they're a tougher team than they've been credited for, and if Hunter can really fit in with this team over the next 25 games, then I agree with you guys that they have everything they need to win a championship. This team can win a championship. I don't think they should be the favorites, but I definitely think they are one of the favorites. And Dustin said this on our podcast earlier, and I agree. I think that if the Cavs beat the Celtics, they're winning it all. Yep. I think if they beat the Celtics, they'll win against whoever comes out in the West.
I got a question for you, Mikey, because you are a basketball expert on this show. What was the biggest difference? The 2 times they played OKC, obviously the first one was lights out. They won it. But the second one, what was the difference in those two games to you from the way the Cavs played to why they was able to win one and why they got ran out the building at the other one?
When they lost in Oklahoma City, they got down huge in the first quarter. I think it was a 20-point deficit in the first quarter. And in Oklahoma City, just like Cleveland has an incredible home crowd, the OKC home crowd is on that same level. Like that's another elite NBA regular season and playoff atmosphere. And it's just a lot tougher because they were down at home, too, if you remember. Max Strus hit 3 threes in the first quarter to keep that game within 10 points. And then the offense started clicking, and they utilized Evan and Jarrett to the maximum of their abilities in that game, and OKC had no answer. When they got down 20 in the first quarter against OKC the second time, they never really tried to use the bigs to their advantage and tried to attack what OKC's best at, which is keeping guys out of the paint. So, I'd have to go back and watch the two games to dissect anything more than that. But when you get down 20 on the road, it's a lot more difficult than being down 10 at home.
What is the Cavs' record on the road right now?
For the season?
Yeah.
Very good. They have a 19-6 record on the road this season. That is the second best road record in basketball. Okay. Behind Boston, who's 22-6.
Okay. Now, the only reason I ask is because I know both games, obviously with OKC, we know about Lou Dort and him and Donovan's matchups and how he does a great job just defending Donovan. So I was just thinking about, okay, other guys stepped up, and you're right, the big to big was what we talked about the most. But in the second game, Donovan obviously, again, wasn't a factor. So who steps up in his absence when he can't step up? And I guess the biggest difference would be Evan. Would be
OKC also, I'm looking at the box score tie. OKC shot the crap out the ball that game. I mean, they hit 50% from the floor, and I don't know what their final three-point percentage wasn't good. But Adam Flagler, who played the final 7 minutes of garbage time, went 0 for 9 from 3 in 7 minutes. So that completely distorts their overall team numbers. So I don't know but Lou Dort was 6 and 9 from 3.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Brendan Carlson.
That's the worst name ever.
Lou
Dort.
Dort. It is pretty bad.
He got the
Oh,
hard.
there's a guy named Dick whose last name is Dick.
Grady.
Right?
Grady
Dick.
Dick.
That's the worst name.
Do you know what Lou Dort's real name is?
Grady Dick.
Grady Dick.
Lewis.
No, his real name is, I don't even know how to Lugans. Luguentz.
Whose real name is that?
Lou Dort's real name is
Dortz.
Lugans.
Yeah, thank
Dort.
God.
Where's he from? I
Give
mean,
him
what
credit
country?
for
Canada.
shortening it.
He got the hardest.
Canada. It must be.
He got the hardest little phrase. The
like
Dortchy
French,
chamber is ridiculous.
Yes.
Because it's real. That Dortchy chamber real.
Ty, you mentioned the big-to-big passing. We didn't do overtime yesterday because I had to go tape something upstairs. And that was about the big-to-big passing. And I think the Cavs down the stretch have done a really good job of using those two as offensive cogs. But there are certain matches where I want to see Kenny Atkinson make those two not just part of the offense, but featured pieces and weapons. It's about a 4-minute thing I did, but you just want to play that?
Let's
which
play
is
it.
kind of breaking down the Cavs' utilization of their two bigs this season. Raise your hand if you had skepticism entering this season that both Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley could coexist as two non-shooting bigs together in a league best offense. My hand's up. My bad, because I was wrong, and I know I'm not alone in that category. What Kenny Atkinson has done to unlock the potential of this big-man duo has been nothing short of spectacular this season, and right now, we're seeing the best of the Evan Mobley-Jarrett Allen pairing, and the numbers back that up. This season, in 704 minutes on the court together, Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley as a duo have an offensive rating of 124.1, a 108 defensive rating, and a net rating of 16.1. Compare that to last season's net rating. Same pairing last season. They had a net rating of 0.9, a 15.2 differentiation in net rating from this year to last year. So how has Kenny Atkinson unlocked the absolute best out of both Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen? Part of it is the pacing and the space in which the offense is operating. The other part of it is the evolution of both bigs and their ability to read defenses and make the correct pass in split-second situations. Let's show you a couple plays that highlight that. This was against Oklahoma City earlier in the year. Look how high this pick and roll is being set, and with Hartenstein on top of Jarrett Allen, that's going to leave a wide-open rolling lane and a big space for Allen to catch. On the turn, he notices that Mobley's defender has stepped up to help. He has Hartenstein on his back, which means no one's there to get Evan Mobley, and he's able to deliver a perfect pass for the easy dunk. When you see this play run through in real time, look at how quickly Jarrett Allen deciphers the defense, figures out where the open man is, and delivers the pass. That's less than half a second. Earlier in the season, against the Denver Nuggets, same situation. High pick and roll. Donovan Mitchell's your ball handler here. That's Michael Porter Jr. He's supposed to be guarding Evan Mobley. He's in the right help spot, and he comes to help when Allen catches. That leaves Russell Westbrook to guard Evan Mobley. The issue is if he leaves Evan Mobley, that leaves Darius Garland, a 43% three-point shooter, wide open, and Mobley's already calling for it. He knows what's coming. It's the alley-oop. Once again, in real time, look how quickly Allen is processing all of this information at once. Where's the help? Is Westbrook coming off? No. Easy alley-oop. Mobley can also do the same thing. This was back to the Oklahoma City game. Cavs are running a little horns action here. Mitchell can go off either side. The key is look how high the ball screen's being set. When Mobley catches, he feels the help immediately, and that's going to leave Max Strus in the corner because Strus's guy has come up to help. Mobley sees that the other opposite corner guy has not left his man, meaning without even looking at Max Strus, he knows he is wide open to be able to knock down the open three. Another split-second decision without having to take time to process. Those are just 3 examples. There are many more this season that highlight the passing between Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen, and that alley-oop right there, that is the unicorn status and the unicorn ability we have been hoping to see from Evan Mobley for quite a while. His passing has gone to a new level this season, and it's leading to highlight plays like this. But it's not just Mobley. Allen also has a couple of highlight passes on his resume, slipping it through 2 Pacers defenders for the easy dunk. It's been incredible. When you look at the overall numbers for the bigs passing this season, they've both thrown about 1,500 passes. And of those 1,500 passes, their pass-to-assist percentage is right around 7.5. So out of 100 passes thrown, about 7.5 turn into assists. But when they're passing to each other, check out how high those numbers jump. Mobley to Allen jumps up to 42%. Allen to Mobley, well, it's not 42%, but it's still nearly 3 times higher than his pass-to-assist percentage for all Cavaliers teammates. When these two are looking for each other, it typically ends in good things for Cleveland. And when you go back to that Oklahoma City game earlier this year, Allen had 25, 11, and 6. Mobley had 21, 10, and 7. That's not just an incredible performance for them. It's an incredible historic performance. In fact, it hasn't happened since 1998 when Tim Duncan and David Robinson did that. Let me say that one more time. No big man tandem in the same game has scored 20 points, grabbed 10 rebounds, and had 6 or more assists since Tim Duncan and David Robinson in 1998. In fact, it's only happened 17 times in NBA history. As the Cavs look to close out the second half of their season and make a deep playoff push that hopefully ends in a championship, it's going to be imperative for Kenny Atkinson and the coaching staff to continue to find ways to not only utilize the big man pairing of Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen, but turn them into a weapon, because those 2 7-footers are something most teams across the league simply cannot match.
Mike, nice job with the breakdown there.
Look at you, man.
Yeah.
You're pretty
He's
darn
a TV
good.
guy, folks.
I love how your new program allows you to like draw the arrow, spot things out. You really become a long way with that thing.
We just got to get a Coach Ty for that again.
He's the John Madden of the NBA
Well,
now.
yeah.
He is the whiz of the telestrator there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
That was good, and it will be interesting to see when they play some of these teams that have given them some problems, if they can use their 2 big guys to a physical advantage.
Yeah, I was looking at some of those things, like the one against the Nuggets where Jarrett Allen throws the alley-oop to Mobley, and I was thinking to myself, like, if I was the Nuggets, how would I play that? Because I'm trying to think in playoffs, what will teams do? And wouldn't you think that they would try to make Jarrett take them shots? Like, I'd rather live with him taking the jumper than, sagging back or allowing Evan to come behind me and catch a oop and things like that. So I wonder if that's how teams will attack, like, all right, force Jarrett Allen to shoot jumpers, which he's got the little hook, but, just force that, because I feel like the percentages on that obviously is.
Jarrett Allen, I feel like he never takes a jumper.
It's a
think he
hook.
would-
It's a jump hook. It's like
Yeah.
a little hook he does.
I don't think if he caught, he would shoot a jumper on that. I think he would just try to get to the bucket,
Yeah.
which is why you have to step up early to at least close the space.
Right.
I'm not sure what the football comparison is. Tyvis Dustin, maybe you could help me understand this, but you have to show to make them think you're there, but also not be there. It's maybe some sort of zone cover 2 situation on the outside where like you're deep, but you're not too deep. But if you completely commit, then the backside alley-oop or pass to Mobley's open. If you don't
Well,
commit,
let's take it to my tennis terms. You could call that a fake poach.
a fake poach,
Kind of
exactly.
show them and then get back, so you don't really give them the alley. You know what I'm saying? Just I was really
it's
really
tough.
good at that this morning. Troy was having trouble with that.
Draymond Green,
Mass.
would not
Did.
want to beat.
Nice.
Dustin, who's your partner, by the way?
Chris.
So Chris is your partner, not Troy.
Yeah, no, we poor John and Troy, man. Those guys just.
And you
just,
won your championship.
Well,
Congratulations.
regionals. We won regionals.
Regional.
Yeah.
A regional championship.
Yes.
So now you played in the Nationals.
Do you
Yeah.
do singles too?
I play singles. I don't play. I'm not as good at singles.
Yeah.
But I do play it, and it's way better in terms of workout, like a workout.
I'm sure it is. Your lateral movement must be like
It's off the
through
charts.
roof now. How did you get into this?
How'd I get into it?
Yeah, like
I don't know.
Is your partner a lefty?
He's not.
So how do you decide when both people are righties? How do you decide who takes which side of the court?
I play deuce side because I have a nice slice chop return that can be
okay.
low. It's angled, and he's got a better two-handed backhand, so I put him on the ad side, and allows him to really unleash. And he's got a good forehand too, so he can handle it either thing if they decide to
All right.
serve.
Good
down
luck in
tee.
the Nationals.
Thanks, man.
yes.
Fake poach.
Last thing, we'll move back to our top 10
Yeah.
quarterback list, which I know we've been waiting for a week. When the Warriors were at their peak offensively, Draymond Green was as good as any player maybe ever at catching that short roll, reading the defense in 1 second, and making the right pass. And when you had shooters like Steph, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson in the corner, you can't help whatsoever. They're not that level. Mobley and Allen, they're not Draymond level yet. But they are both in the upper tier of big men passing this season, which is why even though Allen, if he's the one on the backside and Mobley's catching it, even if he's not a shooting threat, the ability to read and figure out who's half a step out of position from a defensive standpoint and deliver to the open guys what's made the Cavs offense basically unguardable at times this season. So it's been cool to see.
I hear what you say on that one, but I think that Evan, you say Draymond was one of the best at, just the passing, but just catching that ball and that right there at that free throw line, I feel like Evan could be more lethal than Draymond was because of the ability to finish at the rim. Like, don't get me wrong, Draymond can finish, but, like, Evan should probably finishes better than Draymond, right?
100%.
Okay, so, yeah, so now he's got the option to pass or take you off the dribble. Like, that's, as a defender, I mean, good luck is what I'm going to tell
The best ever
you.
in that spot might be Jokic. Like right
Oh,
now,
well,
maybe
yeah,
saying
well,
the
that-
greatest ever in
yeah,
that
that's-
individual. I'm just saying
we ain't even
Draymond
gonna go
was
there.
the underrated cog of that Warriors offense
Right.
because if you didn't make the right decision, he was going to make you pay. He was Tom Brady-esque in that sense. But